Very good. Well, good morning, everybody.
Happy Monday. Thank you for joining us on another edition of Real Estate Backstory. My name is Ming Richardson. I'm the compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
My name is Alan Richards. I'm the managing broker at Maximum Realty and Realtor Partners. And this is we do this every Monday morning. We like to start off your week with kind of like the comings and goings, the things happening in real estate that could affect your business and to kind of get you set up and rolling for the week. So we kind of wanted to jump into or an issue that we're seeing right now kind of start to happen. And we want to start talking about social media, and normally we're going to talk about all the things you should be doing with social media. And I know this is kind of a negative, but we really want to start off with the things that you shouldn't
Should not
be
do.
doing in social media right now. So like the probably the biggest one that you need to do, because this is an election year. And so please, 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 please,
Avoid.
please
Avoid.
avoid politics at all costs.
Yes.
You know, we are a highly polarized society. Half the folks are conservative, half the folks are liberal. Every election cycle, we end up with somebody that ends up losing clients because they went political, whether it's on social media or
And
whatever
sometimes
kind
it's
of
a
thing.
minor thing. So why hurt yourself?
Like,
So don't do it.
if you're going to be engaging on in the social platforms and that kind of thing, just be thoughtful about what comes across. And you know, like a lot of times everybody thinks that the way that they think politically is how everyone does, and that's really not the case. So um, our personal opinion is keep your opinions to yourself. If you're using social media for like growing your business and trying to like make things happen, then
That's great.
then that's what you should be doing. But if you get political with it, it's going to be a negative. It always is. Excuse me. So now, what should you be doing though? And so, just kind of moving over into that, we do want to talk about like what should you be doing? You should be doing short videos, vertical videos, that kind of stuff. So there's a recent study out talking about the rise of bite-sized videos, meaning short videos 15 seconds kind of thing. So incredibly short. Now it's hard for us to get a lot of content across in 15 seconds, but like 85% of viewers say that they want short video. And in that same video category, user generated content takes the lead. What that means is us sitting down in front of the camera and talking for, I mean, a short video segment
15 seconds.
is really, really powerful, right? That's the powerful place where we really got to be there. Now, the other thing here that's really cool about this is that, you know, you got to talk fast, obviously, because you don't have very much time, right? If you can have multiple people talking, kind of like this, that's a really good thing to do. So if you can have multiple viewpoints and any kind of banter, that kind of stuff going on, and then your optimal length. I know I said, you know, like people want 15-second video, but really 40-second videos, that's kind of your target. I mean, we're talking about less than a minute. This is not something that's going to be really, really taxing you out there. Now, for the, you know, if you're going to make these short form or vertical video posts, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Instagram is really the place to be. TikTok is still not a bad platform, but TikTok really didn't have any growth last year. It's also a much younger platform than the other two. If you're using it for real estate and to grow your business, you might want to consider
Your
really
target
focusing on,
audience.
looking at YouTube as well as looking at Instagram for your video. Now, we had an interesting conversation last week, and you know, asking about can you deduct HOA fees from your taxes on your personal home? And honestly, for your personal home, the answer is no. It really like that's not a write-off that you can take for your personal home. However, there is three opportunities when you can possibly write off your HOA fees. So if you run a small business from your home, a lot of real estate folks have a home office. And if you have a home office, whatever percentage of that office that home takes, that office takes of the home. So let's just say your office takes 11%. Well, now you can write off 11% of your monthly mortgage. You can write 11% of your homeowner's insurance, utilities, but you can also
Insurance.
write off, yeah, you can also write off 11% of your HOA. dues, which is also a really one more thing that a lot of realtors miss out on, kind of thing. This, if you have a rental property, HOA dues are deductible, so you can take HOA dues off of your rental properties. And then if you have a second or a vacation home, if you have a property that you're VRBOing, that kind of stuff, you can also take those HOA dues out of there as well.
Once again, we're not a tax accountant, so please consult with your tax accountant. These are just items that we were told, that is deductible.
Thank you.
So disclaimer here.
Well, it's funny, she really is an accountant, but we're not tax accountants.
No, we're
We're
not.
not
And
claiming to
tax
do all
law
that.
changes every
Yeah.
year, so
So
just
have a good
double check.
accountant, but we are offering just
Advice
basic
based on what
advice,
we
kind of
know.
thing. Yeah, the wee little bits that we have in our brains. All right, Atlanta is the seventh most popular place for co-working space. Folks, I mean, and co-working space is one of those, and it seems like an odd thing for me to talk about. But see, co-working space means that people are not working, not going to an office normally, kind of thing. And this affects the type of homes that they select. Co-working space is something where people tend to only go on a much less often basis. They may go in once or twice a week, kind of thing. We have a lot more small business people, but it changes the dynamic of the type of houses that people look for. Because there's so much co-working space, people tend to move farther away here in Georgia than in some other states. We've seen where there's been a really big migration out of the big cities, kind of thing.
They can get more for the dollar,
Yeah.
versus being in the inner cities to where it's more expensive. Everything's more expensive.
Yeah.
So,
And because open floor plans are really, really popular, but it's really hard to have a Zoom meeting in an open floor plan. So that's why these co-working spaces do, it really does have a direct reflection on our real estate market. Now, one other interesting tidbit kind of share with you is that home ownership tenure is up to a 2-year high. Now, this is not, let me clarify the data a little bit here. And so what this says is that the average homeowner that sold a property lived in it for 8 years. Okay, that doesn't mean that the average homeowner the average homeowner has lived in their home about 11 years. However, the average homeowner who sold a property is running right about 8 years. So there is a difference between the two data points, and I just want to stress that because some folks are looking only for sellers that have lived there for over 10 years, but realistically, we are living, before we sell a house, we're living in it for about 8 years before we sell it. And again, this is just for your basic knowledge and so that you have
that's the
an
average.
understanding. Yeah. But it's inched up these last couple of years, kind of thing. So
Absolutely.
all right. Now, Fannie Mae has made an allowance for attorney opinion letters instead of title insurance. And we want to talk about this for just a second because Fannie Mae, they're big. This is not a little company. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it a little bit more affordable in the closing costs. Because if you go with a attorney opinion letter instead of title insurance, it saves about $1,000 in closing costs on average. Because what an attorney opinion letter says, look, I checked it out and it looks all good to me, basically, and they put their name on it. And all your attorneys are going to go through and they're going to check.
Make sure we have clear title and there's
clean
no lien.
title.
Yeah.
Now, the difference is that they are not going to, is that they're not enforcing the fact that you need to have owner's title insurance. Now, all your lenders, regardless,
Is required.
all your lenders are going to have what's called title insurance, a lender's title insurance policy. And they have that because it's smart. That's how they protect their investment.
Well, in case there's a title issue, lenders recover by the title policy.
Yep.
So, with the attorney opinion, the only thing I caution you about is that lender can recover their expenses, but the homeowners are not.
Yeah, so like if there's any kind of recourse and if there's any kind of problems, all you have is a letter and there's no guarantees with
Correct.
with that attorney
So
letter.
if a seller
So,
has substantial equity, guess what? That equity is gone.
well, the thing is, $1,000 over the term of a 30-year loan is
It's
really,
nothing.
we're talking about pennies a week kind of thing.
I thought it was
Um,
interesting. Somebody told me, said, don't you pay like $4.99 a month for your phone insurance? I mean, if you think about that, that's almost what, 50, $60
yeah.
a year. And, for that little coverage of $1,000. So look at that in that perspective and think about what you're losing potentially in $300,000.
Well, and for us, we've been in this business for a long time and we've seen issues come about. And it's one of those things that it's not an issue till it's an issue.
Correct.
But owner's title insurance is, we feel, so important. And I don't think that we're properly protecting our clients if we don't like speak our mind about,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you can save a little bit of money if you're using a Fannie Mae loan and just get an attorney opinion letter. However, that's not wise. It doesn't protect you. They need to have owner's title insurance, and they also, in our humble opinion, is get the expanded policy. Always get the best policy
The
you
enhanced
can,
policy,
because
not the standard.
yeah, we've I mean, we've personally had instances where that extended or that expanded or extended policy was worth it, and in instances where it wasn't there, we've had clients that ended up losing. So
Well, when you're talking about court costs and
yeah,
legal, I mean, just actually, there's one that
yeah,
actually ran up to $20,000 worth of court costs, and he could have got a title policy for less than
but
$1,000 for
yeah,
that property.
but be smart. Please be smart and recommend your clients that they always still get it
Correct.
out there. All right. So FHA loans are on the uptick. We're seeing more and more FHA loans, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is they're running about a half a point lower than a conventional loan.
That's because, and also they have incentive where the mortgage insurance premium is lower
Is
than
lower.
conventional.
Same folks money, exactly.
Mhm.
And at the same time, our share of mortgages in forbearance continues to decrease. So, we keep hearing, hey, can I get a list of
Hey, yeah,
foreclosures?
foreclosure.
And hey, can I get a list of bank-owned properties? And when's the market gonna, look, it's not happening. It keeps going
I mean,
down.
there are some, don't get me
There's
wrong,
always
but
some.
it's
Yeah.
nothing compared to the downturn in the market.
Yeah, exactly. Now, our mortgage, the mortgage rate this past week, it went up just a tick. It's still at 6.69, but there's still, this is what we're expecting it just to kind of fluctuate, hover around that
Correct.
same kind of place. Now, one thing that's come out is, so Fannie Mae, you know, big lender, well, I mean, back end lender, but they buy the mortgages, right? And so the Fannie Mae put out what their projected is, or what they're projecting for the rest of this year and next year. And so you can see that their current forecast versus their prior forecast, Fannie Mae is predicting a pretty steep decline. They were looking at already what I felt
Mhm.
was like a strong decline moving into 24 and 25, but they projected it to be even more steep of
On
a
the
decline.
prior,
And
correct.
so we're hoping to see that. We'd love to see that kind of come into fruition. But this is a like this is not like Joe down the street giving his opinion about what's happening with mortgages. Fannie Mae, this is a pretty important bit of data.
Well,
So
they have network with the US government where they can,
yeah,
probably determine what the interest rate will be.
yeah. Now they also predicted that existing home sales are going up. And so you
Mhm.
can see that they took what was already an aggressive growth pattern and
Correct.
then increased that even more. Now, the other thing that they're looking at is not just um, resales of homes, new construction. They're looking at new construction continuing to blow up. We've seen new construction kind of rocking the world already right now.
Yep.
About a third of our listings are new construction. They're taking up a lot of space, and you need to be on board with it. Fannie is seeing the same kind of thing out there right now. All right. So your competition though for listings this spring is fierce and the time is now. So what you're looking at here is this is how many properties that we're looking at listing this year compared to the number of agents. And so, because
There's more agents than there are property available for listing. So
I
you
mean, yeah,
guys
and
just need to be
like in 2019, there was almost four properties per agent. Now it's 2.7. So we're seeing more agents coming in the market, and we have less properties to do. And so I don't say that as a scare tactic or any way to try and intimidate
But this
anybody.
is where you need to nurture
Look,
your
you got
database
to get real.
and build that relationship because in our business it's all about relationship.
It is, and but it's about reaching out, engaging with your clients, staying up, maintaining relationships, and
Mhm.
and then continuing to grow and service your clients. But the time to wait, I mean, the time to wait is past. You should not be waiting. You should be reaching out and engaging every single day.
Absolutely.
All right, so I want to share a data point with you that we saw, and so this is so we saw home seller profits drop in 2023 for the first time in over a decade, and you're like, wow, that doesn't sound good at all. That sounds really, really bad. Well,
Well, let's look
let's
at
let's
our
let's
let's
actually look
look at
at
our
what that really,
basis of that comment.
okay. So this is the average historical home seller gains, and so yes, did it drop from the average home seller in 2022 made $122,000. However, in 2023, they only made $121,000. Okay.
So look at the
Like,
headlines always going to sensationalize what's going to grab your attention, but look at the underlying message where the basis of these message. I think it'll give you a little more clear understanding what's going on in the market.
yeah. And so, but you can see that right now, the average seller, I'm just saying, just, across the board, all high, low, the
Mhm.
whole nine yards, the average seller is making $121,000 on their average home. That's $121,000 they can carry forward in equity on the purchase of a new home that they could cash out depending on if it's a second home, that kind of stuff. But our sellers are in really, really good shape. So always make sure when you see the headlines
Mhm.
that talk about, because like Adam is actually a really big data company, and they don't normally sensationalize things on the negative, but that's their headline is that, oh no, they dropped, and you're like, oh, come on, really? So, look at the data, I guess is what I'm saying. Because overall, pending home sales climbed by 8.3%. All right, that's the outlook for January is predicted to be a 13% increase. We're looking at closer to 20 this year. You
Mhm.
could see that with the same thing that Fannie Mac, Freddie Mac, and Fannie Mae is predicting moving into it. So please don't think that the market is gone. Don't think that the market. I mean, I keep hearing people like, "Well, there's just not much going on," and it just drives me up the wall because there's a lot of activity going on right now.
Absolutely.
So overall, we're still seeing property values. We're up about 5%, which is a very modest, normal property value appreciation. We're glad to see that. We'll also see more new listings. So new listings are still up over last year. We're about 2% up in new listings. Now, it hasn't equated yet into overall total listings being up over last year. We're still about 4% under last year. But every week we get a little bit closer to where we start building a little bit more inventory, because as we have interest rates going down and inventory increasing, that's why we're looking at sales increasing. That's why we're looking at pending sales and total sales and the volume of sales really increasing moving throughout 2024 this year. All right. So there's a new survey out by Remax, and they found that, 80% of the consumers plan to purchase a home in the next 12 months are adjusting their home buyer plans due to the current economic environment. And what that really means is, like properties and houses are hard to find. Everybody, I think, there's that point where like, I'd love to have a 5 bedroom, 4 bathroom home on a lake with a pool for $100,000,
There we
right?
go.
And so, but that's not reality. And so reality is really kind of kick some folks in the teeth. I don't mean to be mean about it, but like there's a real serious, like people still want to buy homes. And so what are they doing? Well, what we have is we have buyers being way more creative, actually more creative than a lot of agents are prepared for. A lot of agents are really stuck in, look, they want to be in this area. They want to buy a two-story. They're looking for a ranch. Well, guess what? Our folks are looking for what they can afford,
Correct.
where they can afford it, how they can afford it, right? And so right now, 56% said that they're looking for a fixer-upper, right? Almost two-thirds say that they would love to. Now, don't get me wrong.
Tiny
There
home
aren't very
or
many out there, kind
prefabricated.
of thing. There aren't a lot of those. Almost 40% are looking at tiny homes and prefab. What now? Prefab is a really nice word for what?
Mobile
Trailers,
home.
mobile homes, right? Yeah, and for most people, if you said, "Hey, you want to have a you want to buy a mobile home," a lot of agents are like, "Ew, no." Look, 40% say that they're considering a mobile home or a tiny home out there. Borrowing with a down payment of less than 20%, depending on the situation for our first time buyers, for sure out there. How about buying a multifamily home? Look, we see where that is kind of going
Yep.
on more and more, especially with we have an aging population. We also have a very active Gen Z kind of going on. That's kind of happening. About a third of folks are looking at buying a condo or
That,
townhome or attached home.
well, that's due to affordability, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. About 28% interested in buying a home with family or friends out
That's
there.
kind of interesting. That kind of breaks the mold
Yeah.
of just regular, family members. Now we're looking at friends as well.
Yep. The boomers are looking at buying a home with all cash. Most of our baby boomers, they
They
don't
got the money.
well, they have the equity. When they sell, they're ready to do that. But now boomers have no reason to sell. So but the ones who do are able to buy without a loan out there. Another 17% are open to borrowing money from family and friends out there. And then some folks are looking at super commuting, which is buying a home
2 hours away.
like they're willing to drive 2 hours just because maybe they have a flexible work schedule like
Well,
we're
a lot
talking
of
about,
times
that kind
those
of
are
thing.
folks that maybe report in once a week.
Yep.
And so for them, once a week, they'll just have that long drive.
And the reason we bring all this up is because you as a real estate professional need to understand that the idea of they want to live in this neighborhood in this price point is not the case right now. We see where affordability is the king. Where can I find a house? What kind of house,
Mhm.
they're open to looking at different types of housing, whether it's a mobile home or condos or townhomes.
They're tiny
They're,
homes.
tiny homes,
Yeah.
but be careful. Tiny homes are hard because a lot of them are trailers and they're not affixed to the land. You got to make sure they're affixed to the land. But where they're willing to go into different locations, go outside of places, we need to be just as what's the word? Open-minded and
Well, look, at the end of the day,
determined.
listen to your buyer's need
Yep,
because that's going to help you win the buyer's trust as well succeed in finding a product and a home for them.
yep. Now, speaking on those same terms, Atlanta ranks as the fourth highest
Largest.
availability of renovated or flipped homes. So that's another option out there for, like folks looking for property. We have a lot of those. The
Mhm.
other thing that we have is new homes. New construction, we are the fifth largest market for new construction property in the United States. We rank number 5 just on total number of new construction homes. Now, this is the Atlanta MSA. This is not Atlanta itself proper. The overall in the Atlanta region is huge. And if you just look at Atlanta itself, we don't rank very high. But when you put the entire Atlanta
MSA.
MSA, then that really is a very, very big deal. Now, of the homes that are being sold, what we're seeing is that the builders are building and the buyers are buying less and less homes over $500,000. What they're buying are the homes between $2 and $500,000. And we're seeing and part of this is what they're building, right? What are we seeing built all the time? townhomes.
Yep,
You know, like, and why are the builders building townhomes? Because people want homes they can afford, right? It's about affordability.
correct.
And so those townhomes are fitting that bill. This is another one that a lot of realtors I know kind of have a stigma against
Townhomes.
townhomes. They're like,
Don't do
townhomes,
it.
ooh, no. But that's
The
our
new
starter home.
listen, the new townhome are really nice and they're really pretty. And yes, is it inconvenient as far as private space that you have a share wall? Yes, but at the same time, the buyer's gotta find
Still
a
your wall. Yeah.
property. Yeah, the buyer's gotta find a property where they can afford.
Yeah. Now, overall, for all the new home markets out there and how they're performing, Atlanta overall is performing average. Like we're not seeing where inventory is blowing up. We're not seeing where sales are going up or down. It's a good, steady market. And this is such a good place for us to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I love a market that's just steadily growing, and that's exactly where we sit. Please make sure that you're looking at new construction because it is a great place for real estate professionals to operate in right now. All right. If you are a Max One agent, we have the newest version of Key Please is out there. And so, you know, right now, if you haven't downloaded the app, please download the app. It's a great way for busy agents to find some folks to help them, and for agents who may not be that busy to pick up a little bit of side money kind of thing. You can have folks do showings for you. You can do open houses. You can have them run errands, the whole 9 yards through there, and it's all Max One agents inside the Key Please system. In addition to that, we have a lot of the other maximum ones around the state are all jumping into Key Please, so that if you need somebody to show a
Up in the
property
mountains,
in the mountains
down the
or
middle of Georgia MLS.
yeah, we're all going to be on the same platform, so you can get help kind of across the board. Greg shared their monthly newsletter, and they have a new thing starting. It's going to be starting this Friday at 9 a.m. and it is called Greg Connect. And so Greg is the education department at Greg is going to be having weekly Friday education seminars via Zoom out there. And so get your Zoom on. Now next week, Realtor Day at the Dome. Um, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, Realtor Day at the Dome. That is the day when we all swarm in on the Capitol, kind of like a bunch of locusts kind of thing. There's free lunch. Most of the boards bus folks over, but
Mhm.
most of the buses are full now. So at this point, you're going to have to drive yourself probably kind of thing. But do consider joining us at Realtor Day at the Dome. It's a lot of fun. It's really interesting. You get free lunch.
Not only
So
that, you get to meet a
yeah,
lot of mover and shaker and also your legislator who is helping you advocate what's great for your home buyer
yeah.
and the agency.
Now, don't forget Max One Market and for all your swag needs when it comes to Maximum One. This week on Tuesday, we have business planning squared. So 9:30 at the airport office
I
is
had a lot of
next
people
level
actually
business
ask
planning.
me about business planning.
Yep.
So y'all, if you haven't done it for 2024, may I encourage you, go ahead and set up a time, do it.
Yeah. So there is a class, next level business planning. It's going to be at our airport office on Tuesday at 9:30. Also on Tuesday at 10, I'm
Teaching.
teaching business planning for the real estate professional. I'll be at Women's Council of Realtors, the DeKalb Board of Realtors. I'm teaching at the DeKalb Board of Realtors office over there. So if you need that, please join us there. And then on Thursday, we have advertising and branding that's going to be in person in our Fayetteville office. So I hope that you guys have a great week. If we can be of any kind of service or anything you need, please call, text, smoke signals. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you and happy Monday.
Bye-bye.